now, so we need to close, yeah, close session.
I know. Need a motion to adjourn closed session?
Martinez?
A second?
Ayala?
Montes?
Okay, well, I think I heard Ayala first. All right, now vote by board members to adjourn out of closed session. Gina or Ms. Walker? Mr. Martinez,
Aye.
Mr. Ayala,
Aye.
Mr. Montes,
Aye.
Ms. Walker. I guess she stepped away. Ms. O'Kelly, aye. So, well, that's 4 ayes and 1 not there. Okay, so open session is reconvening at 7:21 p.m. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance now. I will say it so that it's just one voice and not a confusing medley of voices, but I do ask that everybody stand and put their hand over their heart. Okay, ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Now, do we have a report out of closed session?
We do not.
Okay. I now need a motion to adopt the agenda.
Martinez?
Is there a second? Does
Montes?
anyone want? Thank you. All right, and now I need a vote by board members to adopt the agenda. Ms. Walker? Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Ayala?
Aye.
Mr. Montes?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly? Aye. Has Ms. Walker returned yet? Okay. Moving on, presentations, there are none tonight. Moving on to comments, public comments from the floor. At this time, any person wishing to speak on any item not on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Do we have any comments, Dr. Avila?
Yes, we do. We have one. This is from parent Rosa Fuentes. Congratulations to the class of 2020. I would like to thank the staff that made it possible to ensure that these students graduated during these difficult times. The effort of the parents and especially the students is commendable. They earned the diploma, and for that, I'm sending my congratulations. Thank you to the board and the superintendent for prioritizing the health and security of the students and families first. I hope that the next school year is much better with the help of the community, parents, students, staff, and administration. I'm sure that it will be. Stay safe and healthy. Respectfully, Rosa Fuentes. And that's all on that category, Nancy.
Okay. Next, we have public comments on agenda items.
We have none.
Okay. Next, comments from association executive board members. Do we have comments from REA, the Rialto Education Association?
We do not.
From California School Employees Association, CSEA?
We do not.
Communication Workers of America, CWA?
We do not.
Or Rialto School Managers Association, RSA?
Yes, we do. We have it from President Ramona Rodriguez.
Okay.
The Rialto School Managers Association would like to extend a very warm and heartfelt appreciation to all Rialto Unified School District classified staff for their service to our students and school communities. Their dedication and willingness to respond without question in times of need and periods of demand truly reflect their spirit of benevolence and collaboration. Our classified staff enhances the quality of our students' experience and our district's values. Their stamp of excellence can be felt and is represented throughout every detail in the management of schools, offices, central kitchen, grounds, maintenance, safety, security, busing, classrooms, and at crosswalks. Again, we thank you for being part of our team in service to our student and community at large. The Rialto School Managers Association will be hosting a karaoke Zoom social on June 5th at 4 p.m. Rialto Unified School Board of Education Superintendent Dr. Avila and all Rialto USD management team are cordially invited to join RSMA in this new social norm. Mr. Derek Harris will be our celebrity MC for the evening. Get your vocals ready for some COVID-19 playlists. Prizes will be awarded. A Zoom link and password has been sent to your Outlook. We look forward to seeing you there. Until then, stay healthy and safe, leading together through service, RSMA Board.
Okay, sounds like a fun time.
Yes.
Okay, we move on to comments from the superintendent.
Thank you, President O'Kelly. The end of the 2020 school year is upon us, and with it, the excitement to congratulate and celebrate students, especially this year's graduating class. I waited anxiously and with high hopes for state officials to lift the restrictions placed on large gatherings. Seniors, it saddens me to know that the restrictions will not be lifted in the near future, and therefore a traditional graduation ceremony cannot be made available to you at this time. But the Rialto Unified School District remains committed to celebrating students, and accordingly, staff will coordinate a traditional graduation ceremony for you on a date to be determined once districts are allowed to proceed with large gatherings. In the meantime, we will demonstrate our excitement by honoring your achievements. Each high school will celebrate its class of 2020 with a festive individual drive-through ceremony and a virtual graduation film. While brief and unique, the ceremony is expected to be a safe and memorable graduation experience. The ceremony will take place at each high school on June 2nd and June 3rd, 2020, from 12 noon to 7 p.m. Class of 2020, congratulations. I am proud of your accomplishments, and I am looking forward to seeing you at the graduation ceremony. And to everyone else, staff, students, families, we will get through this crisis together with resilience and optimism. But we must have faith in the power of our collective humanity by believing that we will be better human beings as a result of this experience. Once the crisis has passed, each of us should be more reflective, empathetic, understanding, patient, kind, giving, and everything else that generates virtue, goodwill, and community. Please stay safe, healthy, and spirited. Thank you, President O'Kelly.
Okay. All right. We're moving on to comments from members of the Board of Education. Mr. Ayala, comments?
Please. It just breaks my heart to know that we have these budget cuts. Obviously, because of what's going on, you know, the revenues are being challenged, and this is it may not go away just this year. They may go away. They may come back the following budget year. Maybe this is a time where we need to use drastic measures. And by that, I mean we need to first appeal to the state. The state needs to appeal to the federal government. We need representation. This is beyond our scope in many ways. We need a voice. This is our legislatures, elected officials. Somehow we need to get the word out to them. We need to go all the way to the federal government and explain our crisis here. We may not get a lot of support there. But just to put things in perspective, I just did a simple little math here. It's what happens during this crisis is that many times what happens is last in is first out. So all those young teachers that we recruited, they are looked at as maybe a way to balance the budget. I don't want to go through this. This is horrible. But just doing some numbers here based on, oh my gosh, this is horrible. The 3,000, let's say 3,000 staff. I'm going to full report here, 3,000. You're looking probably $5,000 per staff member to balance $15 million. I'd have to double check my math. That's a lot of money. That means, just to put in perspective, every staff member, regardless of rank, would have to contribute $5,000 apiece based on 3,000 staff members to balance our deficit here. Another way to look at this, and this is out of the box, or you can just say 30,000 students. If everyone contributed $500, that balances the budget. For some reason, we can never go there, but yet we have a crisis. And it doesn't seem to be a crisis when it doesn't happen to you. And these poor young teachers will not be hired by anybody else. But we need to start now thinking ways to make sure that they don't get those pink slips like they got last time. So whatever we can do together, we need to start as of yesterday to correct this problem. I want to thank you for the opportune time to say a few words today.
Thank you, Mr. Ayala. Mr. Montes, comments?
Thank you, Board President Ms. Nancy O'Kelly. I have no comments for tonight.
Okay, thank you. We move on to Board Clerk, Mr. Martinez.
Thank you, President O'Kelly. As you just heard from my peer and Mr. Ayala, budget cuts are coming. Any way you cut it, they're looking very, very ugly. This is probably going to be at least as bad as the ones in 2008 or 2009. They are due to COVID or the coronavirus. One thing that there is a glimmer of hope if you are a homeowner, look into talking to your mortgage people, and there is something called a forbearance plan. Forbearance, all one word, forbearance plan. Basically, it sets aside a period of time for your mortgage, including property taxes, and in 6 month increments, it'll go up to 1 year. At this time, that's a limit, up to 1 year. You do have to pay them. They may get tacked on at the end, but basically, the governor has made sure that he's trying everything to save your home, save my home. So I'm asking all of the Rialto family to stand together. I don't know what it's going to take, but we're going to find a solution, and we're going to have to find it together. I'm not one, as in 2008, 2009, I don't like the idea of first in, first out. I like the idea everyone goes equally across the board percentage-wise. That percentage-wise, I'm looking real quick. If I looked at the budget quickly, they are looking at roughly 10% deficit factor. No COLA, and the COLA was 2%, and that was, now we're down another 7.92 or 8%. So for a total of 10%, we may have to look across the board at our paycheck and to stay solvent as a district, keep everyone working, it may take a 10% cut. Look at it, that's going to hurt. But that may be able to come back quickly. Quickly, I don't know what their definition is. They're hoping 1 year. Again, forbearance plan sets your mortgage and property taxes payment in limbo. Basically, you're not responsible for it for a year. They aren't reported as delinquent. They aren't reported as requiring extra interest or anything like that. I'm sorry, the interest you do pay, but that tax on at the very end. So look into it with your mortgage company forbearance plan. My heart goes out to everyone who's lost someone with COVID. And I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with this board. We're going to come together and find a solution. Try to keep you all working. As long as you're doing your part, everyone's getting online, everyone's teaching our students. I've heard there are some that are not. Well, you're going to have to. Otherwise, you're first on the list. Go. Because you're not working. I'm sorry, that's what I've heard. That is, part of the grapevine. Correct me if I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I'm hoping the scoop is wrong. But if somebody's working and they're new, they know technology, they're busting their buns to get it done for our students, and you're saying, I don't have to, I'm not going to, okay, you've made the decision for me, for the board. Back to you, President O'Kelly. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Okay, moving on to Ms. Walker, our board clerk. I did it again. Board vice president. I am so sorry.
Thank you. I just want to say for the graduates of class of 2020, we're with you. We support you. No, this has not been what you had planned for the last 12, 13 years of your academic life, but we're here to support you again and provide something, at least in this time, for you to celebrate with some of your classmates. And just back again, this is new era COVID season. What's happening with our state budget? There are going to be some different changes, not only in our educational program, but also in our financing. So we've got to prepare for that. I would just encourage that everybody stay together as we have in the last few months around this issue, which is a global issue, but our Rialto family stay cohesed as we move through all the new changes that will happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Okay, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. On Monday, I was very proud, very happy to see our GSAC students when they came to the district office to pick up their GSAC graduation sashes. It was a very nice event. Lots of pictures were taken, and each student told us where they were going to go to college. I wish them all the best as they move on. And I hope everyone is well and staying safe. As we reopen, we still need to take care and follow precautions. We need everyone healthy and happy in order to get through this crisis. I want to tell the community that when we return to school, the school may look very different than it does now. Schedules may be different, classrooms may be different. We may only have a certain number of students there each day. The bottom line is we will all make it work. The students' health and education are focused. Their teachers have missed them terribly. We all love them and care about them, and we are a family here in Rialto, and we are committed to giving our students the best school experience and education we possibly can. So we are going to work hard to make it as smooth a transition as possible when we are able to return to school. And seniors, we wish you only the best as you move on in your lives. We regret that your senior year was so adversely affected by COVID-19. But you are all making the best of it and still having a positive attitude and a lot of fun. Thank you and have a good night.
President O'Kelly,
Yes,
can I make a comment?
yes.
Going back to the last in, first out, and the teachers that went online to help our children, I think, to be fair, that before we use any precedents, make precedents that those that did not participate fully would be on some kind of special list. We have to keep in mind that a lot of kids, unless they're forced to do something, they're not going to do it. All of a sudden, you got good teachers out there that would be online waiting for them, that none of the kids would participate. So after witnessing something like this, you know, the teachers just say, why should I sit here in this chair in front of this computer? These kids don't want to do the lesson. But now, because they've heard what we just went through with these cuts and the comments that were, you know, that we may have to make some cuts. And so if you didn't participate, you're on this list. I would say, you know, think it through real carefully, because, you know, I really believe if these teachers would have known this ahead of time, even though those kids didn't participate, they would have looked at this a lot different before they got started online. So I strongly encourage the board to consider an alternative other than a punitive measure because those kids didn't participate. As I can tell you from experience, I stood at my door many years with pencils, papers in my hand, trying to teach kids math, and maybe 4 out of 36 in that classroom wanted to learn, and it was just basic algebra. And I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart, how difficult this was. And now they're online with no supervision. They're not going to do it. So you can't do, you know, to be punitive with a teacher, this, and put their careers at stake at this point, no way. Can't do that. Thank you. I'm done.
Thank you, Mr. Ayala. I think one of the issues was that once the kids heard that they were basically going to get their third quarter grade, they figured they were done. And I don't know what the other option would have been, to have all that work being graded or whatever, but most kids aren't going to do much work if it isn't going to give them some reward in the end. So
without a doubt.
Right. Okay. Moving on. Public hearing, we have none. Consent calendar items. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by Board of Education members or the superintendent for individual action. Can I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved. Walker.
Can I have a second?
Martinez?
Anybody want?
Martinez?
Okay. Are there any polls or any items you want discussion on?
No.
Is everybody else okay, or?
I'm okay.
None for me.
Ayala?
Okay. Okay, I need a vote by board members to approve the consent calendar items. Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Mr. Martinez,
Aye.
Mr. Ayala,
Aye.
Mr. Montes,
Aye.
and Ms. O'Kelly, aye. All right. Since there's no discussion and there were no polls, all in favor of approving the consent calendar items? Or we just did that? That's right, we're good. Doing this is a little confusing sometimes. All right, move on to discussion action items. First one is liability claim. Can I have a motion to, I think we would be moving to deny that liability claim.
I'll make the motion to deny the liability claim.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Walker, second.
All right, and vote by individual board members. Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye, and I apologize. I was the one who made the motion to begin with.
Okay. Mr. Ayala?
Aye.
And Mr. Montes?
Aye.
And Ms. O'Kelly, aye. Okay. The next item is award request for proposal to go to Architects Incorporated for the update of the district facilities master plan. The award request for proposal is to go to Go Architects Incorporated to update the district facilities master plan, effective May 21st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021, with a total not to exceed $195,880 to be paid from Fund 25, the Capital Facilities Fund, and/or Fund 40, Special Reserve for Capital Outlay Projects. Okay. Any discussion on this item?
Comment.
Okay.
If I were a teacher right now, and I heard that $195,000 is going to go to something I really don't understand, I would say, my gosh, can't we use that money towards our deficit? So I know the answer to this, but it just seems ludicrous that at times during an emergency, we can't use all our resources to balance our budget without having to be creative all the time. That was my comment.
Well, I think unfortunately, business has to go on as usual. And when I read the detailed explanation in the agenda, this is a plan that has to be done, and so we have to make arrangements to do it.
It's frustrating, I know.
It is. Okay. All right. Vote by board members. Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Ayala?
Aye.
Mr. Montes?
Aye.
And Ms. O'Kelly, aye. Okay, the next item is summer enrichment programs for elementary schools. Can I have a motion to approve?
Walker, so moved.
And can I have a second?
Martinez, second.
Thank you. And the item is to approve the proposed student eligibility and priority plan, course of study, calendar, and schedule of classes for the elementary summer enrichment programs at a cost of $80,000 to be paid from the general fund, Title IV, and Site Title I funds. Any discussion of this item? Okay. That, we'll do a vote by board members. Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Mr. Martinez,
Aye.
Mr. Ayala,
Aye.
Mr. Montes,
Aye.
and Ms. O'Kelly, aye. Okay, moving on, the item is agreement with Elevation. Can I have a motion to approve?
Martinez.
A second?
Ayala.
Okay, and the item is to approve an agreement with Elevation to support the effective monitoring of approximately 5,936 English learners. This platform will support EL and RFEP monitoring, EL and RFEP intervention, reclassification, and communication between EL programs, site administrators, and teachers, effective July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021, at a cost of $62,328 to be paid from the general fund and the site Title I fund. Any discussion of this item? Okay, we'll have a vote by board members. Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Mr. Martinez,
Aye.
Mr. Ayala,
Aye.
Mr. Montes,
Aye.
and Ms. O'Kelly, aye. Okay, the next item is resolution number 19-20-54, approving equipment lease purchase agreement with Convergion Financial Services. Can I have a motion to approve?
Martinez.
Walker?
Can I have a second? Somebody going to give me a second?
Second, Montes.
Thank you. All right, and the item is approve resolution number 19-20-54, authorizing the procurement of Dell Latitude laptops and Chromebooks under a master agreement. The annual payment will be $3,588,892.85 for a 3-year lease period beginning upon delivery and acceptance of equipment on or about June 30th, 2020, for a total not to exceed $10,766,678.55 to be paid from the general fund.
Comment?
Does anyone have any discussion or
Comment.
questions about this item?
Ayala, comment?
Oh, go ahead, Mr. Ayala.
Under normal circumstances, of course, without hesitation. But when you tell me you're going to replace a teacher with a computer, I just can't see it. And here we balance our budget almost by saying no to this resolution. Coming out of the general.
The issue is, Mr. Ayala, we're moving into this distance learning and are probably going to have to stay with it for a while, and we're going to need these computers.
Well, I
The
understand
ones
that.
we have are older, and they're not going to last long.
Maybe we can delay that because we can't get the parents to give us $500 a piece for each child. It's just not legal. But we can say no to this and indirectly save that money and save our teachers. I'm done.
Okay,
Martina?
thank you, Mr. Ayala.
Martinez comment?
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
To my understanding, our original lease was for 3 years, which is now up. This is to renew the lease, if I understand correctly. And beyond that, the state and the federal government is requesting schools to move forward with this because they're looking for money in the midst of all this mess because they realize schools have to go online. So they are trying to fund that even now. This, if we pull it, that is an option, but we would be hurting our students, in my estimation, because when the money does get approved by state or fed, then everyone's going to be ordering them. We've got something in right now, and we would have that ahead of everyone else. And a comment.
Does anybody else want to say anything or ask anything?
You know, I could go out and buy a brand new car, spend thousands of dollars. It'll get me from point A to point B. But I can still get there on a bicycle, and I still can get there on a used car. That don't cost me thousands and thousands of dollars. There are computers out there. We go look for them. They may not be shiny and everything, but they still work. They may not be real fast. They still work. End of comment.
Anybody else? No? Okay, well, let's have a vote by board members. Ms. Walker? Aye. Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Ayala?
Nay.
Mr. Montes?
Aye.
And Ms. O'Kelly, aye. Okay, we move on to approving the recommendations of the administrative hearing panel. Do I have a motion to approve this item?
Martinez.
Second?
Walker, second.
Okay, and it's the administrative hearing for case numbers 19-20-61, 19-20-58, and a stipulated expulsion, case number 19-20-59. Can I have a vote by board members? Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Ayala?
Aye.
Mr. Monte?
Aye.
And Ms. O'Kelly, aye. Okay, adjournment. The next regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Rialto Unified School District will be held on June 10th, 2020 at 7:00 p.m. telephonically and via streamlined audio only. Materials distributed or presented to the Board of Education at the board meeting are available upon request from the superintendent's office. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second, Walker.
All right, and vote by board members. Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Ayala?
Aye.
Mr. Montes?
Aye.
And Ms. O'Kelly, aye. And if that's all, we are adjourning this meeting at 7:59 p.m.
Thank you. Good night.